Hello and welcome to the New Year, New Me book tag. This is an original tag that was created by Kevin Towles Reads, and I was tagged by Brian MR. I highly recommend you go check out his channel. He's a small channel, just getting into making a bit more content. So go show him some love. And he tagged me for this video. If you're wondering why I'm looking off to the side, for a change, I don't have a printed copy. It wouldn't be one of my videos if there wasn't some kind of technical glitch and my printer's saying it's offline, and I just don't have the patience today. Maybe day two, yeah, of pain free since my little tumble, but I still don't want to deal with technical issues. Yes, I know the volume's going to be good. I've already checked the microphone and everything before, so I at least had that taken care of. But on to the tag. Number one, fears. What's one book from your 2025 reading goals that scares you? Now, it isn't the book that scares me. But this is the Book of Signs. It's by Dr. David Jeremiah, 31 Undeniable Prophecies of the Apocalypse. This is published in 2019, and I'll be honest, what scares me are the humans that read this and probably believe it, and I'm just going to leave it at that for now because once I've had a chance to read it, go through what it's saying, I'll have more to say about this book in the future, and we'll see where that goes. Number two is about patience. What's the one book on your 2025 reading goals you want to start immediately? That would be all of them. I don't have a whole lot of patience. The universe and I have been battling this out for years, decades. And yeah, there's just so many great reads that I want to do this year. If you watched my 2025 goals, events, reads, you'll know what I mean. I've packed this year full of exciting things, including some self help programs. And if I could, I'd just start them all right away. But I'm just going to try planning and work my way through as best I can. Number three is about growth. What book last year pushed you to reflect and or grow as a reader? That would be, and I've mentioned this book a number of times, The Five. I'll be talking a lot more about this in an upcoming video. I only have a few notes done. This really made me stop and think about all the attention that serial killers get, but the victims end up being forgotten. This book is about the five victims of Jack the Ripper. The author does not glorify Jack. She does not talk about the murders. This book is just about the five women, their beginnings, their lives, the struggles they had, and really immerses you in the world of the Victorian era when the murders occurred. And it really got me thinking about, yeah, how much attention these people get who commit these heinous crimes, how long their names are remembered. I mean, the murders occurred in 1888, and people still immediately recognize Jack the Ripper's name. So it's really made me stop and think about priorities. I mean, I know in terms of the media and everything, that old saying, if it bleeds, it leads, certainly holds true. And Yeah, it's a fine line because, as I've also mentioned in a comment, it's not that I want people traumatized and always talking about the victims, certainly in current events, because sometimes people forget that their family members are still alive and trying to move forward. So that, yeah, that book really had an impact on me just in terms of a lot of things. Number four, new paths. What's one author you plan to try for the first time in 2025? I had thought I might get there in 2024, but I ended up having a number of other reads ahead. And the new author for me is going to be Jim Butcher. This is Stormfront, the first novel of the Dresden Files. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about it. It sounds very interesting to me, so I definitely want to give this a try. Number five is self care, something I'm very big on. What's one book and/or series you revisit for comfort? I actually have a couple. The first is The Magic of Believing. This is by Claude M. Bristol. He wrote this long before that whole law of attraction and everything became a big dealio. This is from the 1930s, if I remember. I should have this memorized by now. I've mentioned it numerous times. Okay, TNT, It Rocks the Earth, was originally published in 1932 and revised by the author in 1933. That was a pamphlet that Claude first put out. The book itself was published in 1948, so that was an expansion of his idea. And my copy is by Tarcher Penguin. This is 2015. I have read this a couple of times. I love it. It's got the beveled edges and yeah, the classic guide to the miracle power of your mind. So, what you focus on, what you're thinking about. I like the way he wrote. I like the message that he sends. And I had planned to read this last year, December, I think I was looking at it, and I really need to get back to it. So there's another one for my on the list. Number six. Oh, I just remembered. I think I did say two books. This one, and I just talked about as well, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. I'm going to be working through this. It's a 12-week program focusing on a spiritual path to higher creativity. There's great stuff to read in here, activities every week, and I really love one of the things she calls the tools. It's an artist date. You make a date with yourself once a week, you schedule it in like you would with anyone else, and you just have fun times. So, whether you're doing crafts or reading or some other work, it's great. And it's also about setting priorities with yourself. You don't cancel on other people when you have appointments, and you don't cancel on yourself when you have your artist date. Number six, Forging Ahead. What's your favorite debut book or first book in a series you read last year? I'm not going to say this was my favorite, but it was a debut, and it came up because this ongoing joke that Ven and I have about Feyre, and he's always mentioning The Alchemist, which is a book I loved. He didn't so much. I decided to read A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is by Sarah J. Maas. A lot of people have been talking about this book, partly because she's involved with the book ban, as in her books have been taken off shelves, I know in Utah and Florida. I decided to give this a try because there are a number of people who enjoyed the read. And I decided if I was going to keep joking with Van, I really needed to know what this book was about. And as I was telling him yesterday during our birthday live stream, now I have three more books to read that I hadn't planned because I want to know about the different characters and what's going on. So that was one of my first in a series books. And it was good. If you've seen my commentary on that and Fourth Wing, you know that one was not so much fun for me. Then, number 7, goal. Do you have a specific reading goal or challenge for the year ahead? I have a ton of them. And I mentioned all of them on my video that went up yesterday, 2025. It's about my reading plans, the book events, different projects that I'll be doing in terms of self help, what's changing, a few things on my channel. So I've already covered that. Number 8, breaking walls. This is a bonus question prompt. Do you have a non-book related goal for 2025 that you wish to share? I have a couple of them. One is really non-book related. I want to get back to knitting. So this is a handy little thing that you just pop over your head and it fits over your neck to keep it toasty. Now, because I'm a knitter, I want to recreate that with some soft yarns that I've picked up, and I need to get back to knitting. I've got all my needles right there because it helps keep my fingers limber. But if you've seen, because I also do coloring, this is going to be an adventure with Tiki because not only does she steal my pens and markers and things, she's never seen me try and knit. So, where my yarn and knitting needles are going to go, I have no idea. I made this scarf a number of years ago, and this just worked out by a fluke. I probably can't redo it because the yarn that I used, it was lovely. Little challenging to work with though, but it had all the colors in it. So I didn't have to do the counting, but it just worked out perfectly and it's nice and toasty. I love the fancy colors and I enjoy knitting, so that's going to be something I'll be doing as well. Maybe if I get into some more audiobooks or I'll be doing watching YouTube videos in the evening and knitting. We'll see how that goes. That pretty much wraps things up in terms of answering the questions. It does suggest to tag some other people. So I am going to tag Kat, and I'm not sure, Ven, if you've been tagged already or not, and Leslie. Janie, if you're feeling better and feeling up to it. And I think that's all I'm going to tag for now. If you're watching this video, please feel free to do it if you haven't already been tagged. I know we're partway into January. It's now January the 10th. So, yeah, if you want to do it, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much to Brian for tagging me. Thanks to Kevin for creating this tag. And until next time, take good care. Make sure you have some realistic reading plans coming up. I'm hoping mine are, but we'll see how the year goes. Thanks for watching.